Hey guys, Ninja here, and welcome back to another episode of StoneBlock 3. In today's episode, we're finally going to get back to working on our blood altar. That means upgrading it to the next level, which is going to require a new area. And we're actually going to add that area below the current location, and I'm going to have to admit to something. We actually already started this episode. We put a few hours into working on it. But as I mentioned previously, we were going to use the RF tool builder, and I did do that. And I was using the void upgrade, and while I was playing around with the measurements, I accidentally voided a good chunk of the base. And I decided that it would be quicker to just start over from scratch than to rebuild half the base. So here we are. And we are going to do this the old-fashioned way, with a hammer and a pickaxe. So let's go ahead and get started on that. So we did get our additional room finished, and as you already know, the plan for this room is to host our blood altar setup. Now, there are a couple of caveats. One of those is clearly the torch spam. We are going to get rid of those and add in some permanent lighting. We just haven't gotten around to that yet. And also, the other one is this stupid elevator. I don't know why I centered this on the room, because guess what else is going to be centered on this room? The blood altar, which means that elevator cannot go there. So what we're going to end up doing is connecting the end elevators that you see there and there to the room down below, which means possibly cutting into the wall here. That's okay. We can turn those into hallways if we decide we want to expand off this room and add some additional areas. We'll just have to see. But I think what we're going to do now is head up to the workshop and start getting things ready to go to that tier 3 blood altar. So we're getting ready to craft up all the components we need to upgrade our tier 2 blood altar to a tier 3 blood altar. And that's going to require 20 additional blank runes plus 4 glowstone blocks. But we're actually going to craft an additional 8 runes because I want to craft 4 of the upgrades that we can apply to this tier 2 blood altar and make it go a little quicker. Although, since we're crafting additional 8, the trade-off may not be worth it. But in the long run, at least we'll have them, and it's something new to craft. So we're going to go ahead and get those ready. So plans have changed a little bit just based off crafting 8 of those runes. And as I'm sure you saw, we kept dying. I was just clicking too fast. But essentially, we were going to do 2 speed and 2 rune of sacrifice. But what we're going to actually do is, well, excuse me, a rune of self-sacrifice. We're going to do 4 runes of self-sacrifice. And the reason being, if we go into our book, so here is where it talks about the various runes, and the rune of speed obviously speeds up the operation. But that is what I was thinking we were going to do. But based off the time that it takes us to heal, what we're going to do is actually do 4 of runes of self-sacrifice. So each rune gives a bonus of plus 10%. So we'll have 40% if we do 4 of these. So let's go ahead and craft these up. The first thing we're going to need to craft is 4 of these blank runes, which we should have everything we need to do that. And then, oh, it only craft. What did it only craft? Did I miss a block? I guess I did. Now we should be able to craft 4 of the rune of sacrifice. Oh, we need to upgrade our orb. I just realized that. We need to go to the apprentice orb, which is going to be a block of redstone and 5,000 LP. So let's work on doing that real quick. So we now have our apprentice orb, and as you just saw, we completed a quest. So let's go in here and knock out that quest line, and we'll probably be getting, I don't know if we'll get another quest on today. We'll just have to see. I would have thought we'd have gotten one for doing the next tier of runes, because that's the first time we've made these reinforced slates, but I guess not. So let's pop over here and craft our rune of self-sacrifice really quickly. There's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Nice. I really hope let's go ahead and eat, because I mean, we could cheese it, we could just keep killing ourselves, but I really am trying not to do that. I know it may appear that way, but those are accidental. All right, so we are going to put these back and see how much of a difference this makes. So let's go ahead and eat one more time. And we have just shy of 400 millibuckets now. So let's go ahead and take this down all the way to 1 heart. There's 1 heart, and oh, wow, what a difference. What a huge difference. I should have I should have showed you guys a before and after. I mean, I guess we still can. Let's pop these up. So that gave us almost 3 buckets, so 3,000 millibuckets. So 2.8 if you want to do some just real rough math. And let's put this back. Get our hearts back all the way up. I don't know if you remember the Infinity Evolved days with the 110, 112 era and 1.7, I believe, where they had the biomes where you could get the living water that would instantly heal you. You could really cheese and burn through blood magic with that water, but that does not exist anymore. All right, we're full all the way up. We're going to go ahead and hit this sacrificial dagger. Take it down to 1 heart. A little more. And that did just at 2 buckets. So it gave us almost an additional bucket. So definitely worth it. I'm going to go ahead and replace these and get started on making the 20 additional blank runes that we need. Actually, now all we need is 16, because these will take the place of some of those. So we need 16 additional runes. we got everything we need to set up our tier 3 blood altar. I also went ahead and moved the elevators like we talked about. I need to fix the ceiling where I dropped down. I completely forgot about that. Do I have any? I do, but I don't know if I can get up that high, which is another reason why I haven't put the ceiling in yet. We should be able to just peel her up using some blocks here, fill that hole in, and then go back down. Alright, we'll get our blocks back, and now this hole should be the center of the room. So we're going to go ahead and lay in, so the altar will go there. There'll be a ring, a space, and then right here there'll be our exterior ring, or the outside ring, and it's going to be 5. And then we're going to do 5 more. And then 5 more. And of course, you guessed it, another 5. And then we're going to go up to, and for now we'll just use stone, place a glowstone. I believe this block can be anything. It doesn't matter what it is, or at least that's how it traditionally has been. And there's the last one. I wonder if we can like customize the glowstone, or does it need to be a vanilla glowstone block? That's something worth testing in the future. Now we're going to put back our tier 2 in the middle and raise it up 1 level. So it kind of tiers outwards. So as we continue to grow it, it'll get taller. And then we need to put our rune of self-sacrifice. Those definitely were handy. I don't know if you guys could tell, but man, we were able to knock out those additional 16 blank runes in a matter of just a few minutes. It was what it definitely made it go a lot faster. All right, we're gonna grab some food here and eat up. But now that we have our tier 3 blood altar set up, I want to start getting things ready to dive into some of the other core elements of blood magic. And if we go into our book here, actually we can go to the quest book, and this will kind of give you a good idea of what we're going to work on crafting. We're going to go get the components we need to craft some additional blank slates, because I want to make the alchemy table. I also want to craft the Hellfire Forge, which also uses a blank slate. Okay, we're going to craft us a dagger of sacrifice, and we'll just have to see, we might start gathering soul snares, souls using a soul snare, so we can get our first demon will. We'll just have to see. And then we can also get our Tartaric gem. That would be a lot of progress for today's episode. That is quite the sequence to get that started. But we're gonna go get the stuff we need to at least craft these first few machines and knock out a few additional quests. So I think I have everything together to make a few additional blood magic items. And the first thing we're gonna craft is our alchemy table. And you can see we can go ahead and move all the items into our crafting grid. It's gonna be 2 gold ingots, an iron ingot, some stone, couple planks, and 1 of our blank slates. And that will complete a quest. The next thing we're going to do is craft this Hellfire Forge. And it is 2 iron ingots, a block of iron, another blank slate, and any combination of the building blocks that we have. So we're going to use stone, our default. And now that completes another quest. And if we go in here, we can go ahead and accept our rewards for that. Oh, nice. We just got a diamond paxel. That's pretty nice. Now, in order to craft the dagger of sacrifice, which will allow us to do mob life energy instead of our own, we need to run an iron sword plus 3000 LP into our blood altar I also want to craft up some of these soul snares. So if you throw a soul snare at mobs, they have a chance of getting white particles, and when you kill them, it'll drop a demon will, which you need to do a Tartaric gem. I think that's how that's pronounced. If I pronounced that incorrectly, you guys can definitely let me know in the comments. But we're going to go ahead and craft those 2 items, and then we're going to work on getting some demon will. So let's head down to the blood altar. So now that we're down at the blood altar, let's go ahead and eat some additional bread and finish filling our hearts up, because we're going to need more than we have currently in our blood altar. So let's go ahead and give it some more. That is enough for the dagger. What is that thing called again? Dagger of Sacrifice, which we're not even going to be able to use yet, but I want to get that quest reward. I'm all about completing as many quests per episode as we can. All right, we'll get our dagger back. So now that we have our hearts refilled, we should be able to work on crafting some of the snares. And if we take a quick peek at that, you'll see that it only costs 500 LP per snare. I don't know how many of these we'll need, so let's make a few. So now that we have a few of the soul snares, we're going to attempt to gather some demon will. So we're going to go ahead and put our alchemy table right here and our hellfire forge right here. And we're going to head to one of our dungeon areas to see if we can capture, well, we don't really capture them, but we're going to see if we can get a couple demon will. So we are in the dungeon. I'm going to pull the torches off of this spawner and see if we can get some zombies spawning. And then we are going to hit them with the soul snares and hopefully get 1 or 2 demon wills. So here we go. It should give us a glow. It is not working. Oh, there we go. Now we got to hurry up and kill it. And it should have given us a demon will. Nice, it did. Let's try to get 1 more of those. I don't know exactly how many we need. We're going to get ready to throw some more torches on that. All right, let's go ahead and retorch. And let's hit this guy with a soul snare. Oh, right away. Nice. You gotta do this quickly. We should have gotten our sword out, but we should have gotten another demon will. We did. So let's head back and see if this is enough. I feel like this was too easy. I remember this being a lot more grindy than this. All right, we are back down in our blood magic room, and I apologize if I'm not doing the best of job of explaining all this. I'm kind of relearning it as we go and doing as much on camera as possible. So if I'm doing things backwards or there's better ways of doing this, definitely let me know in the comments. But just kind of let you know what we're working on. We'll pull the book open one more time. We're going to go into the alchemy table, and I'm just going to click to a few tabs, and you can pause and read if you need to. So as you already know, we crafted the alchemy table, and it tells you all about what it does. And then if we page over, we haven't gotten into any of this yet. So we literally just created the alchemy table, and that is all I know about it. I am more familiar with the demon will process. So we have already went out and collected demon will using a soul snare. Now we're going to be looking at crafting a petty Tartaric gem as well as a sentient sword. So instead of using the snares, we can hit mobs directly with the sentient sword, and it will fill up our petty Tartaric gem, and then we can use that to upgrade to a better gem. There's like 4 or 5 different tiers of gems, and we can look at those in just a moment. So we're going to go ahead and go to our Hellfire Forge. We're going to put in a demon will as a catalyst. We're going to feed it a sword, and I believe it is another demon will. And it should craft the sentient sword. I think I'm doing it. Oh, we need a petty a petty Tartaric gem. And here's the different ones. So there's a petty Tartaric gem. There is a lesser, and then there is a common, and then a greater. So there's 5, just like how many tiers of the altar are. There's 5 different ones. So to get a petty, we need all of this stuff right here. And I do have all that already, so we're gonna go. I don't know if it has to be in the right order. I think this is right. And then a piece of glass. And it should give us our petty gem. Sweet, and we have enough to do 2. So we're gonna go ahead and do 1 more. And the reason we're doing 2 is because we need 1 for our sword and 1 to collect the actual wheel. So now we can craft our sword with 1 of the petty Tartaric gems. Yes, we're doing things. And now we have our Sentient sword. So let's go ahead and go into our quest book. We're going to complete the Soul Snare, the Demon Wheel, the Tartaric gem, as well as the Dagger of Sacrifice. Wow, we got several of these knocked out. I really think that we can finish up Blood Magic as far as the quest book is concerned over the next episode, 2 at most. We'll just have to see. That tier 5 is going to be a beast. We also need to get into Arcane, and which is the Alchemy Table. We're not going to get into rituals, and we're not going to really do too much more with our blood magic for today's episode. We're really kind of starting to run a little long, but I've had a lot of fun relearning blood magic. But what we're going to do now is I'm going to go show you guys real quick how the Sentient sword and the petty Tartaric gem works. So we're back over at our spawner. We're going to pop off the torches. And it should start spawning mobs in. We're going to get rid of a few more torches here. Make it a little bit dark. There we go. See, and now we should be able to just take out this guy. And it should have added a little bit to our petty Tartaric gem. I'm concerned that it didn't. Might be something that we need to do to make that work. That doesn't seem to be working. What are we not doing right? Well, let's light this back up for just a brief moment. Let's take a peek at our book and see what's going on. So taking a look, it does appear that it has 3 wheel in it. It's just that grinding. We need to fill this all the way up. So we're going to pull out our other sword so we can knock them down to almost no health. And then hit them with the Sentient sword. And we're going to see if we can fill this petty Tartaric gem up. If it gets too crazy, we may take a break and do that in between episodes. Let's go ahead and knock out a few more. When we made it back from that dungeon in one piece, you guys may have noticed, but I actually found an area that wasn't lit up. It was unexplored, which I found very surprising because I thought we had completely looted and lit up that dungeon earlier in the series. So we're going to have to revisit that and get that taken care of. But if we take a moment to peek in our inventory, you'll see that we have our petty Tartaric gem completely filled up with wheel, and we didn't do too much damage on our Sentient sword. That's because we were flipping back and forth with our diamond sword, so we weren't using it fully on the mobs. But there is one last thing I want to do before we wrap things up. The last thing I wanted to do in today's episode is upgrade our tools. I'm surprised you guys have not been screaming at us to update our bronze pick, axe, and bronze hand axe. I've got some stuff pre-prepared here. So we're going to go ahead and grab some cobalt. We're going to throw this into our furnace. We're going to grab a bucket, which I think I have sitting in here. We're going to feed it some additional lava. We're doing a bunch of cobalt, so we'll be able to have some to repair. But the first thing we're going to do is upgrade the axe head itself. And we're going to go over here to our table and drop that on there. We're also going to want to update our tool handle and our axe head. We'll do the axe head next. And then we're going to flip that over to, I'm really not sure why I threw the copper in there. We need the osmium though. We're going to go ahead and click that. And the reason we're doing osmium, if we go in here and take a look at tool rod, this has to be a mistake. But I was scrolling through here. Most of these, if you look at them, they do around 1. Some of them are a little more than 1. But when we got to osmium, this has to be a mistake or broken. Where is osmium? There we go. Look at this. Durability 1.8 modifier and mining speed 1.3. That is just about as good or better than any item in the game. I was blown away by that. So we are going to be using osmium tool handles and the cobalt axe head and cobalt pick head. Those seem to be a little bit better than what we were using. If we go in and take a look at that, I can just show you really quickly the difference in the pickaxe head. So we're currently using bronze. There is the cobalt. So it bumps up the durability to 800, minus speed 6.5. There were some other options here, but overall I felt like that was the best one. We're currently using bronze. I don't see bronze. Where is bronze at? There it is. So you get a little bit more durability is really all it is. It's really not much, but we have so much cobalt. I went ahead and done it. So let's head back into our starter area here. Man, we haven't been over here in forever. Let's hit our tinker station. Throw our axe in there. We're going to add the pickaxe head first. You can see the difference there. It's giving it, well, it's boosting the attack speed as well, and the mine speed quite a bit. And I think that's because of the lightweight. And we're getting some significant, a little bit more durability. And now let's see what this osmium handle does. Wow, look at that. It's taking it the mining speed from 9.1 to 11.18. And the durability is going up significantly as well. So that is just crazy. Now we're going to do the same thing to our axe head. And now we have finally upgraded our tools. Well, let's head back to our new area and wrap things up. As always, I hope you guys have enjoyed today's episode. I know it might be a little bit lighter on content, but I have really been struggling with a creative block and what to do on our 2 ongoing builds that we have. So we pushed through this episode and we're getting something out. But we did make progress. We upgraded our blood altar to that tier 3. We also got our Hellfire's Forge and our Alchemy Table set up, as well as our first Payday Tartaric gem, which is completely filled up. And I can't wait to move forward. If you did enjoy today's episode, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions or feedback, please leave a comment. And don't forget to subscribe. This is Agro Ninja, and that's a wrap.